Good afternoon, everyone, and it's been my honor. Like I'm presenting for the webinar today. If you are having any questions anytime, just put in the question tab. However, it will be showing to you now. Myself, Suvankar De, working as technical field engineer in UAE. So today our time split will be something like this. Duration of the webinar 3:30 to 4:15. So where I will present the webinar, then the question answer, whatever the question will be there, I will try to answer in this 10 minutes time. Then the poll and feedback session, it's very important for us to grow. So please spend your 5 minutes time to give the feedback to us. So I request you to use Google Chrome only or Firefox. Don't use Internet Explorer. Sometime it lag in Internet Explorer. Please don't do the parallel downloads, and question will be answered at the end, so you can ask your questions in the question tab. Here your page looks something similar to this, so where you will find this expand sign to make the webinar page full screen to have a good view. You can drop your messages in chat window. You can ask question just clicking on the question tab, and at the end I will ask you to give the feedback in the polls, which is like really important for us. Well, so today's our discussion specifically for on-site testing of anchors, what you need to know. We will discuss based on a code, it's called BS8539. We will go through some case study. We will try to understand why we need the pull-out test or the anchor testing at the site, how to choose the anchors. So basically today's seminar will be about the testing of the anchor. Well, our agenda will be something like this. We will go through all of these topics one by one, and if there is any question any point of time, you can put in the question tab for the answer. Well, going ahead, the first question comes, why should you attend this webinar? To tell you that there are so many fixing failures all around the globe, and which cause really injury and even death. Some of them are like this, which has been encountered by third parties, and they investigate and try to find out why the failure was. And most of the time the main factor for anchor failure is either anchors incorrectly selected, not selected correct anchor, or maybe anchor has been installed incorrectly, or the specification have been changed without the process or following the proper method, the anchor specification change. Most of the time it happens because of the anchor incorrectly selected. Maybe anchor is not approved for certain sub base material, but has been selected for that particular base material, or maybe installation error happens because site is not in the hand of the designers. However, we will cover through this code BS8539, and what is this code says about it. Covers all the aspect for the anchors, for fixing, drilling, if it is in the concrete or masonry, what should be the safety factors, and the it's also explain about the criticality of the applications, what is the step has to be taken to install the anchor. Here are like some of them. It's like selection of anchor, it is explain installation of the anchor, it's also explain the testing of anchor, and the certification, like which anchor has to be certified. Now what we will cover today, it's basically the testing of the anchor, how the testing has to be done, and based on what this anchor is appropriate or not can be chosen. Going ahead, there is a pull-out test. You know what is pull-out test? Uh, I hope most of you know. Just to give you a brief, it's a tensile test on the anchor to check the capacity or like to prove the installation safety. Both can be done using a pull-out test. Now you can see there is a pull-out test happening, and can you guess what happened after the pull-out test? It was a destructive pull-out test. Anybody can guess from the audience? So this is how it is looks like. Yeah, concrete cone failure, I see. Anjum said. Any other answer? Concrete failure. Well, so I will ask anchor no long enough, not long enough. No, the failure I'm talking about, Reuben. Basically, like what kind of failure can happen. However, we will see that. Let's look towards the video. What failure happened here in detail. So this is the video. I think everybody can see. This is how the concrete cone failure happens, and how the graph comes, and how we determine the load. Well, so if you see, what are the failure modes? What are the modes we witnessed by anchor? This is one of them. What happened actually in the site? It's concrete cone failure happened. But what are the other failure modes? There is still failure. When the anchor is not strong enough for the applied load, it breaks. When the anchor it's not properly installed, and or maybe the installation is not correct, then pull out failure happen. If the concrete is not strong enough, or maybe the embedment depth is low, then the concrete cone failure happen. And when the anchor is near to the edge, or maybe the thickness of the concrete is not enough, then the splitting failure happen. Altogether, I can say there are 4 type of failure under tension. When we go to anchor testing as per BS 8539, what we will learn today for pull out test, it's basically how many specimen should be tested. You are having question also, what is the load shall I apply on the anchor? Also sometime we are having question in mind for how long we should apply the load on the anchor. So all of this will be covered. Here you see 2 method of test. One is destructive, which is the concrete cone failure happen till the failure. Another one is non-destructive, to check if the installation is good enough to carry the design load. Well, here we comes, when we do the anchor testing, there is a purpose for the testing. So what is the purpose on site test told by BS 8539 is determine resistance or verify installation quality. So either of this is the purpose to do the test. When we do the test, we define based on this purpose which type of test has to be done. So there is one is destructive test to determine the resistance. So we go till the ultimate failure. There is non-destructive test which is called proof load test. Then to verify the anchor, obviously it should not be the destructive test, because it's doing on the actual location just to check the test load. However, we'll go one by one for this all, and then we'll see forward. So the basic information what we need for the site test is what is the base material and what is the anchor type. Base material, under base material, these are the types coming, masonry standard, masonry which is not in standard, concrete standard, concrete not standard. What does it mean, standard, non-standard? Basically, masonry standard, it's denotes that which masonry is there in ETA approval. Non-standard means the masonry which is not there in ETA approval. So there is different kind of block which is like day by day it's coming in the construction site. Like one of them is insulation block, insulative block, whatever you say. This is not in the standard, but however it can be there is solution for that. For that, maybe we need to do on-site test. However, going forward, for anchor type, which type of anchor it's been used? It's chemical, it's mechanical, or nylon. Based on that, we will define which type of test, what is the safety factor has to consider, and how to do the test. Here is a question: how to determine anchor resistance using a destructive test method. As we told, to determine the anchor resistance, there is two way. One is destructive, one is non-destructive. So we are going for destructive test method. How to determine, to understand. So when you go for destructive test, you need to test at least 5 to 15 number of specimen. Then to find out characteristic resistance, this formula has been used. What is this formula meaning? This is our NRUM is the mean value of the ultimate load. We will come down to a practical example afterwards. Then Kn is the tolerance factor based on confidence level of 90%. S is the standard deviation. Vn is the coefficient of variation which requires standard deviation to calculate. And then sigma is the adjustment factor. So design resistance is basically the characteristic resistance divided by the safety factor, material safety factor it's called. Well, so what is the material safety factor? Material safety factor, like let's say 2.5 for the anchor which is not the plastic anchor, it's like either metal anchor or chemical anchor, and 5 for the plastic or nylon anchor. So this is called the material safety factor. However, going forward, you can see the gamma value also sigma value also has been given. So what is the real case example? Let's say I did a test, 5 tests with this test loads 0.7 kilonewton, 0.7 kilonewton, 0.7 kilonewton, then 0.8, 0.8. So all have happened concrete failure or block failure. What is the mean value comes? It's just the average value. From there, we try to find out what is the coefficient of variation based on the standard deviation. Tolerance factor. Tolerance factor, it's always given in the BS 8539. These are the factors you can see at the right side. K has to be 3.4 for 5 test, K has to be 2.57 10 test, K has to be 2.33 if it is 15 test or more. Now as many tests, this factor goes down based on the number of tests. Well, going ahead, adjustment factor also has been considered, and then we found the characteristic resistance is 0.496. So this has to be divided with the material safety factor, and then we will get the design capacity of the anchor. Now if in the site it is restricted for the destructive test, So we should go with the NDT, which is non-destructive test. How to go for that? We are always having a requirement of the load in the calculation. Based on that, we go for the proof load. However, for this also, we need to test 5 to 15 anchor. Here how the load has been defined. So n test equal to n is the required load in SK multiply with V test. V test is V is the safety factor again here. So here if you see V test, these are the values. If it is general purpose application, then nylon anchor should have 5 safety factor. Other fastening should have 3 safety factor. If it is temporary fixing like scaffoldings or form work, it is having 3 as nylon anchor as material safety factor. Other fastening is having 2 as material safety factor. So at the end of the test, the load should be maintained on the anchor for 1 minute. So the time it's 1 minute to find out the capacity, or if it is withstanding the that particular load for 1 minute, which is the factored one. Well, going ahead, if the load is achieved in all 5 tests, it can be assumed there is 2 case characteristic value of action equal to the design resistance. And if it is not achieved, then the the selection of the fastener has to be changed to the higher expected resistance anchor, or maybe you can use the same type of fastener with a larger diameter, maybe the next size of the anchor, or maybe you can use same type of anchor with a more depth. However, more depth for chemical it's allowed, but for others we have to look for it, like it's the mechanical anchor is having always a constant embedment depth, or the I will say the last option is something like this. Well, what is the real-time case study for this? Let's see. There is a contractor. The question I will ask to the audience. Application is facade runner fixing. Anchors, we are using Fisher SXRL 10 by 100 nylon anchor. Base material is a solid brick in the project. Requirement of load per anchor, it's 0.2 kilonewton. Now, how many number of anchor shall you test? Anyone can answer? 10%, 6, 15%, 20%, okay, 100%, 5 to 10, 5 anchors. That's great response. Thank you very much. Basically, you should test for the minimum 5 anchors and maximum 15 anchors can be tested to find out whatever, if it is non-destructive test or destructive test. How much load you should apply and how much time you should maintain. Okay, there are answers I can see. Thank you, Syed Saab, for your answer. I can see Raihan 2 minutes, Amir Khan, 60% of strength. Well, we will answer this all. Let's come down. You should have the safety factor of 5 or 3 for the nylon, or based on the anchor. So SXRL is a nylon anchor, so it should be 5, and as it is a facade runner, so it's a permanent fixing, so we should go with the 5 times safety factor. So our load should be 0.2 multiply with 5, it's 1 kilonewton. Well, then if we see for the time, as I mentioned, it should be there for 1 minutes if we are going to find out the capacity of the anchor. Well, so here it is. Thank you very much for your for all of your answer. uh, really nice to see the conversation, the interaction. Thank you very much. uh, Going ahead, so validate the installation quality. So our part for the determining the load has been covered, or determining the capacity has been covered. Now what is the installation quality? So if the anchor is having ETA approval with that particular block, or for that particular anchor it's there in the ETA, then we don't have to go for the determining the load, because load has been determined by ETA, maybe following the same method. But when it is not ETA approved, we have to determine the load on site. So on the site, most of the time what we check for the pull-out test, it's basically the installation quality, not the determination of the load. In the installation quality, it's basically depend on the it's basically to keep the record, or like on the tested anchor. So however, if you see here, if there is any failure happen, then these are the step we should take at the project for the next test. If it fails, if one fastener fails in specific area, then the double number of the test has to be done. So if it was 5 tests, one of them fail, then the double the number, it means 10 tests has to be done. Or if more than one fastener fails in the specific area, then all fasteners has to be tested. It's very simple, not on the percentage but on the number, or the specification has to be reconsidered by the structural engineer or engineer at the project. Going ahead, there is 2.5% of the fastening but greater than equal to 3 pieces. So the load safety factor has to be 1.5 times multiply with the action value, action load, the load working on that particular application. Or else, if it is 5% of the fastening or greater than equal to 3 pieces, then we can go with 1.25 times of the load capacity, sorry, 1.25 time of the load acting on the anchor, or the load which is there on the base plate or on the particular anchor. So if we go ahead, this will be applied for minimum 1 minute, and then the load can be released. Now coming down, why Fisher? Because we don't only concentrate on the product, but also we give the services to our clients and customer. That is the training we give, pull-out test we do the design calculation for our anchors. We are having a software, it's very sophisticated anchor design software which is available online, and it's free of cost. we can do document support for the project where you are submitting. We are having international technical team as well as the project references to support you to get the anchor approved. What else we do? We do shear test also, and I think like this test it's bit special because for the shear test of the anchor it's require a special bracket and the special location to do this. So this is how the shear test has been done, which is near to the edge, to find out the capacity of that anchor. So the complete webinar, I will say, will be uploaded in the YouTube or in website. You can again go through the same, and you are most welcome to come back to me or to us for if you are having any question in future also. If you are having any question, please write down in the question tab. I will be happy to answer you. Thank you, Andre. Any questions from the webinar which we gone through now? I can see Anjum is asking what is best, chemical or mechanical anchor. Anjum, thank you very much for your question. Basically, I will not say it's chemical or mechanical. I will say it's depend on the load acting over there. So if the load is very high, maybe we have to go with chemical. If not, then mechanical anchor can work over there. So mechanical anchor solution is always a economical solution. So our software is there where you can check it easily, applying the load which is the correct anchor based on the mechanical or chemical, whatever. Reuben is asking, is there a difference with other standard for testing? Uh, there is there is an there is no difference. Basically, there is one test standard. This is BS 8539, which is following CFA, Construction Fixing Association, and this is the method worldwide followed for the testing. Derek is asking, if more than one anchor fails, is it safe to test all the installed anchors? There may be hidden damage to the anchors or concrete. Well, Derek, I will answer you one thing here, just for your information and just for everybody's information. I will say, our anchor testing, it's having, let's say, the working load multiplied with only 1.5 times, which is actually the characteristic load of the anchor should carry as a minimum. So there should not be any hidden damage if you go for the proof load test, I will say, as a non-destructive test, and that is what also CFA or BS 8539 advise us. Aburvaraj, thank you very much for your question. Shall anchor be J or hook type also, other than straight? Good question, Aburvaraj. There is two type of anchor. So basically, at the beginning, as I said, this is for the post-install anchor, the test, and the discussion was, so J or hook type of anchor, it's coming under the section of pre-installed anchor. So there is J or hook type of anchor is also available in the market, depend on the design calculation and application. Syed Abu Tahir, could you please teach us software to use in a right way? Yes, sir, we can. This webinar was regarding pull-out test standard and BS 8539. So I went through that. I will be very happy to contact you and give also the training. If in future there is any webinar regarding software also, we will be happy to announce that. Asma Banu is asking, while pull-out test on site, if the concrete fails, can we replace with other Fisher bolt or already anchored on already anchored location? The answer is Asma. Basically, when you are having when you are doing a failure test in not in the same place, even any anchor cannot be installed because the concrete surface has got been damaged. So it is always advised to do the destructive test in a particular specimen area which where the anchor will never be used for destructive test particularly. So for the determination of the anchor, it's really require a dedicated area to be tested, not in the exact area. It's my opinion. Sayed Abu Tahir is saying learning software is more important with respect to optimization. Definitely, sir. In the software, when we learn software, we will understand like how much load capacity one anchor have, which is having the ETA approval. And if we are doing the right design in the software, I believe the anchor will never fail in the if it has been used in the right conditions. Aishwarya is asking, what is the limit to load when using mechanical anchor? Aishwarya, the load limit when you are using mechanical anchor, I mean, it's for the using, I mean, the mechanical anchor, or it is the question for the testing. I actually did not get it, but answer the both. The limit for mechanical anchor, it's difficult to tell because mechanical anchor start from 6 diameter till 24 diameter. So different anchor is having different load capacity. Secondly, if you are asking that how much the load has to be tested, then the answer is like you can test with like if it is for installation quality checking purpose, then 1.5 times or 1.25 times, depend on your number of specimen test. Rajesh Lodh is asking, can pull-out pull-out testing be conducted on adjacent anchor at same time for same load? Rajesh, basically this pull-out test, it's not for group of anchor, it's for single anchor. So you know, in the group of anchor, when the load is applied, it's always the worst case. Then apply applying the load, excuse me, applying the load on the single anchor. So adjacent anchor load can be applied, but it will not give you the actual what you require to get. So it's always better to look for the highest load acting on the anchor, and then you can apply that load in that particular anchor. If there is moment, just an example, maybe there is two anchor on the base plate, or like four anchor on the base plate, there is a moment acting on the base plate, two anchor will be under compression and two will be under tension. So it's always better to check like what is the tension working on the anchor, and based on that, doing the test. So design calculation, if you are having on your hand, which is always available from our software, you can make a PDF copy, and it's clearly mentioned how much load acting on each anchor. You can test with that load to that anchor. Sayyid Abu Tahir, thank you, engineer. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Nikita is asking, if there are 5 anchors and we have tested all and 4 were okay, one got failed, what do you advise? As per BS 8539, as per the code, you should make it double, means now another 5 anchor has to be tested, and if all pass, then anchors are okay. If another one fail, then you have to test the whole, all the anchors has been installed. So this is the process what it said by the code. Anjum is asking if we keep load offset on anchor fixing, that is between base material and point of load, will the loading capacity of on anchor decrease? Definitely, Anjum. If there is a load eccentricity from the point of load to the anchor, which I understood you are talking about, let's say if there is a offset for shear load, there will be a reduction in the anchor capacity, but for the tension load there will be no reduction. Mohammad Bilal Ahmed is asking if using FCM plus with M24 threaded rod at embedment depth of 210 mm underwater application, how to calculate how many pools of chemical will be applied in the submerged concrete block. Well, another one time, if using FCM plus with M24 threaded rod at embedment depth of 210, well, how to calculate how many pools of chemical will be applied in the submerged concrete block? Okay, well, as code says that you need to do minimum 3 of the pull out test, even if it is underwater also, and embedment depth or if it diameter of the anchor really does not matter. It is only matter to find out how much load has to be applied, and however I hope the load calculation will be done before ahead uh, doing the test. So we have to consider that load acting on that, and based on that we can do the test even if it is underwater. Is there any instrument to test the shear capacity? Amit Kumar Parikh is asking. There is no instrument to do the shear load capacity check. If the anchor is near to the edge of the concrete, then kind of base plate, I will say kind of a bracket can be used to do the shear check. uh, However, like to make the 90-degree placement of the pull out machine, and then we can do the check. So that is how we are finding out shear capacity. If there is no nearby edge, then shear capacity checking is not possible. I hope I answer all of you. If anyone else is having question, you can ask. Also we will, I mean, in any further question also we can come back to you. I will request like for to give the poll how you found the webinar and how we can improve more. This is our contact. If you are having further questions or any query, please feel free to reach us in the given email ID, inquiry@fisher fischer.ae. I got another 3 questions. By the time I will answer this, please fill the poll for me, for us. Uh, Ashna Bashir is asking, do you have instrument to scan the rebar prior to install the anchor, whether it's clashing with existing rebar? Ashna, no, we don't have the instrument, but in the market there are so many manufacturer with that particular instrument. You can use this. Syed Abu Tahir is asking, do you have instrument to scan the rebar prior to install? Okay, I think I answered this. We are not having this, but I can personally reach you to advise some. Yes. Ashna, I gave you, I think, the answer. Thank you very much, Ashna. Ashna is telling, how can you make sure whether river is clashing or not? Uh, we can make sure using that river scanner. You are 100% right. That is the only method to find out where the rivers are there. But that particular instrument we don't manufacture, we don't have in our range of product and services. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us in the webinar. I hope it was informative and beneficial for you and your work as well as for your career. If you have any further question, please feel free to reach us. We will be happy to assist you and answer. Thank you so much.